Hi, boys and girls. Today I'm going to teach you how to work on word problems or to solve word problems. Now that we're in fourth grade, word problems can get pretty tricky and lengthy as well. So it's important to have a strategy to help you kind of break the word problem apart to make it easier to solve. So an acronym I like to use for solving word problems is the word CUBES. I'm going to go through what each part of CUBES means with you. So the C in CUBES means circle the numbers. So in your problem, there's going to be numbers probably that you're either adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. So you want to circle those numbers so they're easy to find when you go back to solve your problem. The next letter in CUBES is U. So that U stands for underline the question. So what is the problem asking you to find? You underline that so you know and understand what is being asked for you to do. The next letter in CUBES is B, which stands for box the key words. Often in story problems, there will be words that will be clues to you to help you decide what you're going to need to do, whether that be addition, subtracting, maybe multiplying, or dividing. So for example, if we were adding, some of the addition words that we may see, that we might box, that would be clues to us would be total, sum, altogether, in all, combined, more, add to. All those words would mean that we would be adding in the word problem. If you were subtracting, some of the words that might be keywords you would box would be difference, fewer, less than, more than, and how many more. It's important to box these words to help us understand what exactly the word problem wants us to do. And I also have some key words that you might see for multiplication and division as well. But we're going to be focusing on addition and subtraction right now. So we'll just focus on those words for now. Later in the year, we'll continue talking about cubes. We'll talk about some of the other keywords you might find. Okay, the next word in CUBES is the E. That stands for eliminate what you don't need or evaluate your question, your word problem. So what is it that you need to find? If it has other things in there added that you don't need, then you can cross those out and eliminate them, okay? And then the S in CUBES stands for, does the answer make sense? Okay, so after you have solved your whole problem, think about your answer and the numbers and the keywords. And does the answer that you gave, does it make sense to what was being asked? Okay, so let's try a word problem together using cubes. All right, so I'm going to read you the story problem. Move me up there a little bit so you can see the whole thing. So it says Terrell climbed 4 buildings in the United States in Chicago. He climbed the Willis Tower, 108 stories, and the John Hancock Center, 100 stories. In New York City, he climbed the Empire State Building, 102 stories, and the Bank of America Tower, 54 stories. He has also run 4 marathons. How many stories did he climb in all? So the first thing we're going to do is circle the numbers. So I circled all the numbers in red, 100, 108, 102, and 54. Next, I'm going to underline the question. The question was, how many stories did he climb in all? So that's what we're trying to find. Next is B, we're going to box the key words. Okay, so I see, if I have my whole chart up there again, I see the words in all. And if I look back to my chart, that is in addition. So this word problem wants us to add. Okay, after that, we want to eliminate what we don't need in the story. Sometimes stories have extra things. So the part where it said he also runs 4 marathons, we don't need to really use that number when we are adding today because it's asking us how many stories did he climb in all. That was marathons he ran, not the story. So I can cross that off and eliminate it. Okay, finally, we're going to solve and see if our answer makes sense. All right, so maybe I want to start with some estimation first. Okay, we learned yesterday about estimation. And so if I was to estimate 108, that would round to 800. And then I have 100, I can just keep that 100. Then I have 102, which is also round to 100. And then I have 54, which would round to 50. So if I added all those together, my estimation would be about 350 stories. And then now I need to think, does that make sense? So if I looked at the actual 108 plus 100 plus 102 plus 54, that would equal 364. So my estimate is pretty close, okay? So I would say, yes, my answer makes sense. So those are the steps of cubes. We'll go back over them one more time. So you're going to want to circle the question or circle the numbers, underline the questions, box the keywords, eliminate the things you don't need, and think, does my answer make sense? So you're going to use cubes today in your activities to answer some word problems.